cute.
Oh, you look cute. You both
you.
look cute. Look at you. This is so cool. I'm going to voice of God you. I'm going to say, and now please welcome to the stage, Brennan and Izzy. And then you'll introduce
Jacob
yourselves
and Kelly.
And then you'll introduce yourselves as Bigger.
True story, we pitched this in an adventuring party, a talkback series to Dropout's Dimension 20.
We should do a sketch show called Bigger, where it's
The only note we'll never get.
the only note we'll never get.
We've been very used to people telling us to sort of tone it down.
Hello.
Beautifully, we were given the opportunity to do a show where we can be as crazy as we want.
Hi. Hi. Oh, God.
I'm Brennan.
I forgot my lines.
When I was very little, I would improvise as characters.
My mom was writing down stories I was telling when I was like 2 or 3 years old.
I got really into comedy. My dad showed me SNL when I was like 8.
I started taking classes
Started doing
at
UCB when I was 19.
Basically because I was bartending and I had no network.
As soon as I found out what it was, like, wanted
So
to
I
do
started taking
it.
classes at UCB to be like, I need some friends.
Never left.
I moved to LA, had the worst year of my life. Truly was like, was this a terrible mistake? Oh no. I got on a teacher thing for UCB on the subs list, and I literally created an auto reply that when the call for a substitute teacher went out, I auto replied yes to it because I had nothing else. I knew that my schedule was clear. So I took over 1 or 2 classes that way and then got really good reviews as a teacher. And I started to be making enough money as a teacher to afford rent. The only person who was, I'll get emotional talking about this. You end up feeling a little bit like a ghost when you move to a new city and it's hard to make friends. And I already feel insecure about ingratiating myself into a new community. And there was one person who was very, very kind to me right away. And she was working at the cafe downstairs at UCB and her name was Izzy. And like the second or third time I was there, she gave me a cup of coffee on the house. I didn't know she was trying to smash. I truly was like, this is the nicest person there's ever been.
Brennan is the smartest person on Earth and also the funniest person on Earth.
There was a time after about a month or 2 of starting to be pals, I walked in and she looked up, she went, Brennan, I was thinking about something you said. And I went, ugh! Because I know whatever it was, it didn't matter, which makes it matter even more. Anyone can remember the important stuff. Can you remember the trivial stuff? As I clearly have not remembered. But I remember that she remembered. And that I remember.
I was like on my phone last night saving pictures of Ruth Gordon and Garson Kanin. Because I was like, we're a fun show business duo.
She's comedically and in life a fearless person. I've opened myself up in a huge way. I feel like we actually are complementarily fearless. If we're out like camping somewhere and I'm like, what if ghosts came out of the woods? She's like, shut the fuck up. But I'll be like, what if that person is mad at us? And she'll be like, fuck them. And I'm like, great.
And now I'm realizing we should have planned this.
It's not being recorded.
It's not being recorded. Yeah, so that's why we should have planned it.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. How did yesterday's show go?
It was good. It was crazy. It was
Yeah?
crazy. Just sort of, go into a fugue state and then go, was it good? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Brennan and I did a 2-person improv show in our early days of dating that was not very good. COVID happened, so we weren't performing very much at all. And I went on Dimension 20 and started doing Dropout things, so we got to perform a lot together there. And then we started doing this show.
Having a second hand, having chemistry is huge. And it is like romantic life partner stuff.
You ever had an itch in your butthole so bad?
But honestly, it's like the chemistry I have with this person led to the romance, and it also leads to the comedic partnership.
being able to do the exact kind of show you want to do with the person you're in a relationship with is, I like can't even believe we get to do it.
Your two natural
Yes.
chemistry come out in the scene.
Yes.
And it was
Yeah.
so beautiful
What
to
do you
watch.
mean?
Oh, did she not know that you
That you're engaged.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a 51st date situation. I have to explain to Iz that we're engaged.
Our shorthand is so advanced that it even becomes a problem. We've had improv shows where someone will step out to initiate a scene and the other person will start laughing because telepathically we know what the other person's going to do and we're like, that's hilarious.
The stage shows generally feel way more loosey-goosey because we tend to not air them.
I don't know why I got mad that you
The thing
think
with
that
improv
my
is
school wasn't.
you could sort of say something that if you think back on it, you're like, well, maybe, no, I shouldn't.
Honestly, because I still do theater because I'm a loser. And
We're doing theater right now! We're doing theater literally right now!
I think it's the most fun thing in the world. Making people laugh is drugs.
I don't come to where you work!
If I hadn't found a way to make money from performing,
Unbelievable!
I think I'd probably be like a bartender or, you know, an assistant somewhere and would still be doing as many shows as I could. Because you find the thing that makes you happy and you find a way to do it.
The week I got hired at College Humor, which was the week they told me I needed to submit a long-form show, which was the beginning of Dimension 20, was also the week that I started dating Izzy Rowland, who's my wife now. Big week! Bigger week! Hello! The show!
And now,